What's going on, everybody? Ed0626 bringing you some Call of Duty World War II gameplay. No, this gameplay is not 15 minutes long. This is two gameplays I chose that I really enjoyed. This one on Flak Tower, I was with my friend Taylor. The next one on Ardennes Forest was with my buddy Hollow. And I can tell you right now, the Flak Tower one was okay, but the Ardennes Forest was fucking great. I really love that game, so I hope you guys enjoy that. For the record, M1 Garand and shotgun combo, really good. Highly recommended. So, without further ado, I want to get into the topic. So, of course, you guys have seen me talk about why Battlefield is better than Call of Duty. Well, I can tell you right now, it's only fair that I discuss why Call of Duty is better than Battlefield. And actually, I was just having a conversation before I started recording this with my buddy Oreo Man, aka Brightlight, aka David. You guys have known him. We've done the Edge and Oreo show together quite a few times now. And, you know, he was telling me, he's like, you know what? We were having a nice conversation for like a few minutes, and he said, you know, I humbly agree with what you said. I humbly disagree with what you said about, you know, not everyone can pick up Battlefield. And, you know, that's fine. And let me know. If you have opinions that you want to disagree with me on, that's fine. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to make this as even as I possibly can. I've also put up polls. I put up polls on Twitter. I put up a poll on the last video. I'm going to put up a poll on this video. And I want your guys' opinion on it. So please, please, please give me opinions. You can also tweet me on Twitter. You know, I'm not here to start a war between the two franchises, but I am trying to create a discussion a civil discussion that I don't think many people are doing. So let me know what you guys. I just want your opinions down in the comments section below. So let's talk about why Call of Duty is better than Battlefield. The created class system. Now I know I kind of gave the edge to Battlefield in the last video, but at the same time, for a while, Call of Duty had a really great created class system. And when I'm talking about that, I'm kind of referring to the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm kind of really leaning towards, like, from Modern Warfare, the first one, all the way to Modern Warfare 3. I really liked that creative class system in general because nothing had to be sacrificed, and nothing had to be sacrificed. You can use all the perks you want any way you want. You can use all the guns you wanted any way you wanted. Like, for instance, Modern Warfare 3, that's when I first discovered Overkill, and it's still and as well as Black Ops 2, it's still both those games are some of the best uses of Overkill I think anyone has ever done in this game. And I'll explain that in a second. But then, when it came to Black Ops 2, they introduced the Pick 10 system, so you had only 10 slots that you could choose stuff with. Some people used it well, some people didn't. Like I said before, I used Overkill in Black Ops 2, and I think given the 10 slots, I probably used it to the best of my ability. I think I probably used it better, at least how I played the game. I probably used Overkill and that class system better than anybody with my playing style. So it really helped me as a player, and that's just my opinion. But then now you have World War II's Divisions. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm really, something about the Divisions feels way too restraining for me. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's the basic training ribbons, but I think that's where it's kind of hurting me a bit. And, picking from infantry to mountain to whatever, that type of thing. I don't like being restrained when I'm picking my classes. I feel like this game kind of restrains me. I don't know. Does anyone else feel that way? But, like I said before, I do prefer, like, the Modern Warfare 1 to Modern Warfare 3 era of created class systems. Even Black Ops I loved. That created class system was really good as well. So, next thing I want to talk about is the campaigns. Now, in my opinion, Call of Duty does campaigns way better than Battlefield. In Battlefield, you have storylines, but I don't think the storylines are really that good. I don't really get attached to the characters. Like, for instance, Battlefield 4, it had some great missions. It had a lot of great moments in it, but I really wasn't attached to any of the characters in the game. And especially since Battlefield 4, the main character who you play as, Wrecker, didn't even say a word. in Battlefield 1, I kind of liked it a little bit better because there were 6 mini campaigns that comprised itself of one campaign, and it was insane though, and I say that because you got, different kinds of war stories from each different areas of the war. Like, you had like the story of Lawrence of Arabia to an extent. You had the Italy campaign. That was nuts. And there were some emotional moments as well. But I felt like the campaign overall was a little easy for my taste. I was able to finish that up in quite a relatively decent amount of time. I also do want to say that the Gallipoli part of the campaign probably had me the most in terms of emotional feel. That and the Italian one. If they were trying to make a campaign based on heartstrings, I highly recommend the Gallipoli part of the campaign and the Italy one. I really liked it. So what else do I got here? And even like the series, Modern Warfare. The Modern Warfare series, and to me, is the best series of any Call of Duty, or not even any first-person shooter storyline. It had great moments, it had great characters, lots of memorable parts, and it's looked fondly, except for probably the No Russian part. That was a little bit much in my opinion, but it's looked fondly upon as one of the greatest campaigns in history, or greatest campaign series in history. I'd say Black Ops 1 is the same. Or not Black Ops 1. I say the Black Ops series is the same, but at the same time, Black Ops 3 killed it for me in terms of campaign. So that, for me, it's the second best series. But Black Ops 1 and 2 can easily be up there with some of the best. Even Advanced Warfare wasn't that bad. I loved the Advanced Warfare campaign. I hated the game, but the campaign was pretty good. But to me, the king of all campaigns, in my opinion, that I've played, was Black Ops 1. I must have played it over and over again. I even completed it on Veteran. Same thing with Modern Warfare 3. But Black Ops 1 to me is one of the best campaigns of all time. Even World War II's campaign is actually pretty decent. Now, as I'm recording this, I don't have it completed, but right now I can tell you World War II's campaign is actually shaping up pretty well for me. I feel invested in the characters. I feel invested in the story. But that's just me personally. So, in terms of campaigns, Call of Duty gets the edge. Next thing I want to talk about is the faster paced gameplay of Call of Duty. There's a reason why games like TDM are paced the way they are. 10 minutes, 75 to 100 kills. Sometimes games can be a little bit slow, and that's understandable. But in terms of how the map size is, how people play the games can last, pretty short if you have a good team with you, of course. So, Battlefield is kind of more methodical. Battlefield has like that. Of course, Battlefield's really only meant to play like mostly Conquest. I played TDM on Battlefield, but even that is pretty slow. I mean, games last, 10 to 15 minutes, especially on Battlefield 4. Games usually last like 10 to 15 minutes. Call of Duty's ends in about, 5 to 10, depending on what you're playing. And also, it depends on the game mode. I think since they took off time limits on domination, games there can last maybe 12 minutes. But that's pushing it maybe a little bit. But overall, Call of Duty has that faster pace that people may like more than regular. So, it's all a matter of opinion. Like I said, Battlefield's made to play with 32 versus 32 with bigger maps. So it might be sometimes it can be fast paced, but not all the time. But in terms of pace of the gameplay, I think Call of Duty also gets the edge on it. I also think Call of Duty has a lot of memorable guns. Sometimes memorable and not the way people would expect, such as the MP40 of World at War, the FAMAS, the AUG of Black Ops 1, the FMG9 dual wields from Modern Warfare 3, the MP7 from Black Ops 2, and the shotguns and the snipers. Yeah, sometimes it's not memorable for a good reason, but sometimes it's memorable for a good reason as well. It's kind of like, it's really hard to explain. It's like some people hate it looking back on it, but some people like it as well. You can't really find a happy medium. But people still talk about it. Like, for instance, the MP40. Some of the big YouTubers still talk about it to this day, like Thunder and a few other people. But, and if they're still talking about it, it must be memorable, right? And then in terms of, you know, just gun designs in general, they're memorable for that reason as well. Who doesn't love a Tommy gun, you know? Why do you think it's in World War II? But then again, would a World War II game be the same without the Tommy gun? Who knows? More multiplayer options is another thing that Call of Duty has the edge over Battlefield. I can tell you right now, when you play multiplayer, there are so many options now. You have Hardpoint, you have Capture the Flag, you have Search and Destroy, Team Deathmatch, Domination. They introduced the whole war type of game mode, which in my opinion is a ripoff of Operations. But, you know, there's so many options. Oh, watch that panic bayonet, though. There are so many more options in Call of Duty when it comes to multiplayer. Now, granted, not everybody plays them, but it's still, you know, there's still so many options. Like, hey, like one day, me and my buddy Hollow, we were playing Black Ops 3 when I felt like playing it. We decided to play, hey, let's play Uplink. And then we started dunking on everybody in Uplink. And we actually changed our clan tags to LeBron or Jordan or something. I don't know. It was funny as hell. But it was really good. So yeah, I think more multiplayer options is definitely an edge Call of Duty has over Battlefield. Now, another thing I want to talk about is kill streaks. Call of Duty is one of the only games that actually gives you a kill streak depending on how many guns or how many kills you get. Now, unfortunately, since Black Ops 2, they've changed it to score streaks, which I think is ridiculous. But I prefer kill streaks, like Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops 1. Like 3 kills for a spy plane, 2 if you had it hardline on. I mean, Jesus Christ, 2 kills with the spy plane on hardline. UAV spam was going everywhere. And the kill streaks, once again, memorable kill streaks like Dogs, the Chopper Gunner, the Tactical Nuke if you were able to get 25 gun kills in Modern Warfare, the Moab of Modern Warfare 3, the Chopper Gunner of Black Ops 1. God, so many good streaks. But unfortunately, kill streaks have kind of fallen off in Call of Duty. I can't really tell you that the kill streaks in World War II are that good. There's so many buildings and shit in this game that it's really hard to pick. If I place a artillery strike, it would really have to be a good artillery strike because I probably wouldn't get any kills with a building-based map. But yeah, kill streaks, you know, that's something Call of Duty definitely has over Battlefield. Now, Battlefield did introduce the whole elite classes, but I don't really think of them as kill streaks. I just think of them as shit added to the game for the sake of adding shit to the game. Same thing with the behemoths. But now, finally, the last thing I want to talk about, and I was talking about this a little bit earlier in the beginning of the video, is anyone can pick up Call of Duty. Anyone, and I really do mean that. If you're like a 12-year-old kid, you can play Call of Duty. Some people are good at it, some people aren't. I used to be really good at it, from like Black Ops 1 to like Black Ops 2, like that whole era. And you know, but it's even if you're bad at the game too, like even if you're bad at Call of Duty, you can still end up playing it. By the way, we made everybody on the team rage quit, and there were only 2 people left in this game. That's how bad we were shitting on these guys. But yeah, that was funny. But yeah, as I was saying, anyone can really play Call of Duty. I would still, to argue my buddy David's point, you know, not everyone you can use basic FPS skills that you've learned from Call of Duty to play Battlefield, but I still think you need like I'm not saying IQ, but I still think you need like to have like a level of, you know, awareness that only Battlefield can give you. Because if you're not looking around where you are all the time in Call of Duty, you're just running the lanes or the routes that you usually like to run. In Battlefield, you have to focus on tanks, aircraft, and all that shit. So there's a certain level of awareness that you get from playing Battlefield, but you can and sometimes Call of Duty players do move from Battlefield to COD or COD to Battlefield. Not all of them are successful, but you know, it's easier to play Call of Duty than it is to play Battlefield, at least in my opinion. So that's that, folks. What's the final verdict from you? Are you a Call of Duty guy, or are you a Battlefield guy after watching these videos? I'm personally a Battlefield guy, but that's how things are. Anyway, my name's Edgier626. Hope you guys have enjoyed these last two videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.